Okay, I am doing a review of the DGT electronic chessboard. The game, as you see, is a 5-minute game with a 10-second delay, and there's a 10-second bonus because even though the computer announces its move, I still have to make the move. I am really not a speed player. I am doing this strictly for review purposes. I think the electronic chessboard is good for players who want to compete on their very highest level and don't have an opportunity to play practice games against experts and masters. This electronic chessboard allows you to play your very best without distracting you, which very often using a computer will do, because you have to pay attention to the computer screen and not a real chessboard. Now, if you do have the opportunity to play very strong players consistently, I think the chessboard is still good because you can do your analysis without having to remember a speed game or a 10-minute game. I practice with 10-minute games. If you strictly use your computer and a computer screen, then of course you can still do the same thing, but you have to have an opportunity to actually have a feel for the board. I think the electronic chessboard gives you that. Okay, let's get started. And we're off. Like I said, this is going to be a really fast game, and I'm not really good at really fast games, but I will do my best. I don't know why the computer, this is a Fritz 14, takes so long to make opening moves. I mean, basic opening moves. It takes a really long time to do that. But once you're out of the opening,
pawn e5,
it makes up for it by really complicating the position. Of course, the computer, I'm playing 2100, does not miss very much, if anything at all. You have to play a solid game for the first 20 or 30 moves to have any chance at winning. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to use the computer to assist you in playing a solid game consistently for the first 20 or 30 moves. If you make a mistake within the first 20 moves, you're just going to get wiped out, unless you set it on a really low level, which defeats the purpose.
knight c6.
You start feeling really good because you see all your extra time, but when you make that first mistake, everything just disappears really quick. I'm making this video on February the 2nd, 2020, which means that
knight f6.
It's I think it's 6 o'clock, which means the Super Bowl is actually on.
Bishop d6.
The first time I played against this Bishop d6, I said, whoa, that has to be a mistake. But when I went back to my database, that is actually a legitimate move. The idea is that once white plays d4, takes off, the bishop gets control of that diagonal, so it's really trying to restrict you from playing d4. I'm just going to go with hopefully solid opening moves.
pawn a6.
And this is one of the reasons why I didn't really want to play that move. But in a prior game I tried c3 and that didn't turn out very well either.
Pawn h6.
My pawn a3 was, once the knight plays over, I have a place to place the bishop. His, of course, was to restrict my bishop from pinning his knight.
Bishop c5.
I don't like this move, but after researching it, it apparently is a valid move.
Bishop takes e3.
And now I feel that white really needs to get in d4, but he has to protect this e4 pawn first, so he needs to play knight c6 or knight d2. I'm sorry, knight c3 or knight d2. But the other side of it is black could
Castles kingside.
I was saying black could go with immediate d5, but it probably is best to castle before you try that breakthrough. I'm trying to protect this pawn so I can push to d4. I'm also trying to prevent his push to d5. He's already at 2 minutes, but once this doggone thing starts moving fast, it's still really tough.
Pawn d6.
Queen to E1. I gave it a little bit of thought. Usually when I do this is when I lose the game. But I think if his bishop goes for the pin, I'm going to push up on the pawn. The bishop takes him off, the rook will take off.
Pawn B5.
Now this is interesting. My original plan was always to just drop back. Now I think about playing forward, take, plays off, and push up. Really don't want to play that because of course his next move is to play the bishop in.
Bishop E6.
I might be getting over aggressive here.
Bishop takes A2.
I didn't want to use the knight because I still want to keep control of D5. And I want to have the knight protecting because that queen might be pushed
Knight
off.
E7.
Probably shouldn't do this. His aggressive moves here.
Knight G6.
I cannot forget about this rook over here. I gotta get him back in the game. I'm planning to take this rook and double him up on the F file.
Pawn C6. Queen b6. Pawn a5.
Black is trying to counter on the queen side and remove my knight.
Pawn b4.
Oh boy. I'll take a chance.
Queen c5. Pawn takes a3. Queen takes a3. Pawn d5. Pawn takes e4. Pawn takes f3. takes f7. Pawn a4. Pawn takes g5. Queen